All right, fam. What do we got going on? We're gonna get this scooter up here and we're gonna turn our negativity and frustration about how I accidentally made a very cool scooter in a couple days and then spent 6 months on the 3D printed one and what we're gonna do, because I have a pretty good plan. So, first things first, gotta get Mad Max up on the stand. Oh man. So, I need to reframe things into a positive mindset, and I've been trying hard to get myself there for the last couple days, and I think I'm there. So this is what we're gonna do. I really like, well, I don't like them aesthetically, but the straight fork leg. After riding it, I don't want to go straight into this curved. And then the cable routing, I want to put more money into the cable routing, into this design, than into an aesthetic bend right here. So we're gonna do straight forks, focus on cable routing. This tube right here and the way that it kind of juts across, like kind of like blocks, compared to how this is kind of more cut up and you can kind of see through right here a little bit more. We're gonna try to make this neck. And I ordered some more material. So on this 3D printed one, because what we're in essence doing is we're 3D printing a second scooter here. On the 3D printed scooter here, I ordered these tubes. These are actually aluminum, and then we just 3D printed, you know, from here down. So we're gonna do the same thing. However, on the one we're making right now, I did some stress analysis, and we really wanna use roughly a 40mm diameter tube. It's a little bit bigger than what we've used in the past, but it still has that channel for the cables. So the next step is to kind of make a computer model of this front end. So we're gonna do bars, stem, top clamp, fork tubes, upper crown, head tube, lower crown, and then these will continue down into the dropouts. All right, I don't know how long that was, 50 minutes, something like that. We got some handlebars, well, fork tubes. So fork tubes, there's the fork tubes here, and then we've got the head tube, the upper crown, lower crown, stem, and bars. I've got my dropout down here out of flat stock. This side is the brake side, this side is the non-brake side. If I just go to like the individual model here, you can see that I have my dropout piece, the little fork piece here, the aluminum tube that we have coming in. So that's separate, like the big section of tube is gonna be aluminum like the original 3D printed one. And then I have those assemblies on the other side as well. I'm trying to decide, do we want to rip a 3D test print? Because I already have these three components printed. Do I want to run a test print of those lower fork tubes? And I think yes, for two reasons. I can measure, I'll show you guys. I can measure where they insert into that bar, and I can make adjustments once I get that tube, reprint them, and then there'll be a tighter press fit. And then two, how am I gonna print these? These are like, there's no good way to print this. So I think I'm gonna have to print them like this. Yeah, I'm gonna print them like this. Looks like it's about 3 hours. I'm printing it strong because I wanna measure that diameter. And if I printed it weaker, it would go like way quicker, but I wanna make sure I can measure that diameter so I only have one more print after this. So I'm gonna print it just like I'll print the ones that go on the actual model. Boom, sent. I'll check in 3 hours. And that's gonna wrap up my work day. It's 2 o'clock right now, so right about 5 o'clock. Yo, dang, it's a beast. But first, I did some cleaning while that was printing. Check this out. United States District Court violation notice by an Officer Smith, 2012. And it was for West Fort Miley, skateboarding, and then in parentheses, scootering. $100 because it was a $75 ticket, $25 processing fee. I never mailed that. I wonder if I paid it online or something. But yeah, I probably made this a little too thick also. Let's go see what this looks like next to our old 3D print. Yes, certainly not as pretty, but much more functional. You'll see one of the big things is that this axle is in line with this fork because this clamp offsets so far forward. This offsets forward, but it offsets forward away from the center line of this rather than being directly under the center line. I guess that's my way of thinking, like sometimes these things just need to kind of sit. And so I guess I'm happy that and grateful that like I made these two versions because, and that they've kind of just existed for as long as they have, because I think it's important to like let things just exist and prove that they can stand the test of time briefly, if that, for yourself as a designer. And that's not to say you shouldn't release stuff, because I think like one of my things is that I'm always trying to out-design myself. And so then like nothing would ever come out because I'm looking for that next level of perfection. But with this, like so much of the goal was some sort of like standard system that we can build upon for years to come. And so I think in this instance, it's a really good thing that we had the happy accident of Mad Max, and it's making us rethink from the things as little as the dropouts to as big as the, you know, the fork tube design being straight to the neck tube. Because in the end, we want to be able to modify these, and we could add in a lot of those features over time, but we want to start in a way that is realistic, see if people get on board with this project, buy the scooters, you know, are representing, and then build from there. So I suppose that's where we leave off. That was just a day of whipping this guy up, giving everybody an update, and I suppose the next day will be when I have the tubes. We'll reprint these to fit inside of the tube and put the actual new front end on to the 3D print back there. And then that front end, we were not going to toss that. I throw a lot of stuff away. We're keeping that because we're keeping it for reference, because the goal is to get a certain blend from Mad Max to the 3D print. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the support and seeing this project through with me. It's a wild one, but it's going to be cool. Thanks.